What's up, guys? It's Lugo back with Flex Pill episode 137. Today was week number 23, day 5. It was our secondary push session. We did Duffalo Bench today, which this one's been kind of shaken up, like changing a good bit because I'm trying to find. Initially, I was trying to find what would be good. Larson is too unstable, I found out for me right now with the whole, bar tilting. So when I fixed that, I could do that again. And with pin press, I felt like it was kind of changing my bar path in a negative way, and it wasn't really doing what I wanted it to do. So I felt, okay, I'm gonna go back to Duffalo because I feel like I can probably be good enough with the lean and be a little bit more stable. And also changed a few things with my like bench form stance right now that I noticed was a positive thing that I've done, and I've kind of drifted away from it. The first one being is like touching maybe like a little bit higher. So making sure that that's a consistent touch where it's like right under my where my chest ends normally, or like under my nipple line a little bit. And I feel like that's really good. I get a lot of chest activation, and I could keep a decently good amount of force in my palms and making sure that elbow is tracking right. So that felt pretty good. And the second one was making sure that my stance is not too wide when I'm benching, because I felt like maybe I'm going a little bit too wide sometimes. And so I tried to like bring my thighs a little bit closer to the bench instead of just being super wide, and then I put too much, there's too much pressure, external rotation, and it feels weird. Maybe it puts a little bit too much pressure on my lower back as well because I'm trying to go out too wide. So I just try to go a little bit closer, not necessarily like hugging the bench or anything, but it felt really good for my leg drive as well. And the number three was like with my setup, I felt like I go behind the bar when I bench. So like I go behind and then I pull myself into my legs, and I was going way too far off the bench when I like noticed. I was like bringing my back off the bench, and like going how like half my body is off, or like my upper back. So I just decided to go a little bit up, make sure my upper back, during the setup keeps contact with the bench at all times, and then push back a little bit. And it's been giving me a good feeling of making sure that that's there, because I feel like when I was pulling myself in from being off the bench, maybe I would kind of like torque a little bit, or my upper back is uneven. But when I keep contact, I can kind of tell a little bit better where I am on that bench, and it felt good. I felt like I had a very productive pressing session today. I did all the sets and reps at the weight that I was supposed to do, and it felt good. It didn't necessarily feel like I was ever going to fail. It was maybe a little bit hard towards the end, obviously, but it wasn't like painstakingly hard where I was like I was going to fail. But overall, this was a great session. Like everything from the beginning to the end was really good. I probably sandbagged a little bit, like the time, because I felt like between dumbbell incline and then this OHP to everything else, I took way too long. I was just kind of lollygagging around and trying to find some stuff on OHP as well. I did like this initial closer hand position, and I can't really tell because it's behind, but maybe my left hand's a little bit out wider than my right. And then I just moved both of my hands out, and I don't know if it was like at this point like my shoulders are tired, but it felt weird on my left shoulder. I'm also like losing. I need to like maybe not push through or get more stable, because I'm like pushing through here, and I was like losing my balance, and so I kind of stagger stanced it a little bit, and I think that was good. But I think I probably should just keep my grip in a little bit. It felt a lot better than putting it out wide. I mean, obviously it's like my third week on OHP, so there's still a lot of things I need to iron out, but I like where it's going. I like where it's progressing. I've never progressed OHP besides maybe like a 12-week block of it. So I'm excited to see. I also just think it's cool. I would like to do over a plate on it soon, because it's kind of embarrassing. I used I use the bumpers to make me feel better about not being that strong because it looks cooler rather than just doing, a 25 and a 10. It kind of looks pretty lame in my opinion. But I feel like I'm gaining some good steam on bench again. I felt like for a while I was changing the benches too much, probably like the last week and a half. It's been trending well because I've just stuck to the fat pad again. And when there's no competition and there's no plan, I probably should just bench on the fat pad because from experience, it just feels better on my shoulders. And especially when I'm cutting, it allows me to keep that weight up on bench where I want it to be and keeping that, intensity high, which is very important when you're losing weight at such a fast rate so that you can end up just, you know, keeping the strength while you're losing weight, if that makes sense. I don't know. Did that make sense at all? I feel like I lost my train of thought and then it came out wrong. Um, I don't know, but that's one of those things where you just have to find where you need to be in the gym with that intensity. But this felt really good, man. Incline jam has been a little bit dicey for me. Sometimes it feels good, sometimes it doesn't. I kind of like trended with a little bit of a higher position, but I feel like right around that collarbone, like chin area, feels really good for me to do it. So that's gonna be probably where I'll keep it, not touching the chest either, because it feels like I'm getting too much pec when I get too low. So that's kind of my general thoughts about training, about this session. I think that I'm probably going to keep this where it is, and then when I reset the block after next week, I'll run it just how it is, and we'll progress it again. But that's pretty much it for today, guys. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, a comment, or subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow for day number 6. Thanks for watching.